Hello, guys. This is Russian American Renaissance. Victoria James again. It's kind of late, and I'm a little tired after my training today. I had a professional training, and as usually, my channel it's about friendship, about learning about cultural differences. And if somebody doesn't understand the picture of my channel, with a lady with a bubble gum. This is a motto from Soviet Union, I guess from 80s or 90s. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. It says love, friendship, and bubble gum. So love, friendship, and bubble gum. It was the motto pointing out to friendship between Russia, Soviet Union, and America. Just clarification if I have some new subscribers or people who want to understand my ideas, what's behind my ideas and what I want to promote. Friendship and understanding mostly. And forgiveness for the fact that we're different. So today I'm gonna tell a story that happened to me when I came to America. It was my first year in America. I immigrated in 2008 in September. I was 20 years old, and it was my first year. I would call this story my story about American Robin Hood in downtown Seattle. So, I decided to go for a walk in downtown Seattle when I was 20 years old. Back then, I wasn't understanding that downtown kind of is a little bit dangerous, so I just went on my own. And maybe the story kind of will explain why I'm still not married, because I had a lot of boyfriends, but when I don't see that boyfriends are romantic enough, I don't care about money or stuff like this. I'm pretty much like my parents. I believe that we need to love each other and understand each other, and we need to be romantic people and friends. Maybe these are values that still exist, but maybe my values and my understanding of this is too strong. So I decided to tell a story of a person that made me strongly, deeply impressed. Even though this person did something kind of criminal to a degree. So I went to a bar in downtown Seattle. And there was a person that, oh, sorry, my phone is falling. I'm kind of tired, and my phone is tired too. So that person, he was at the bar. I was 20 years old, and he looked about maybe 18 or 20 years old. I don't remember exactly his name, but he had a very unusual Scottish name. He was a Scottish American. And I was just sitting and drinking beer, or maybe I was going to order something. We were talking. And this person was hilarious. He was making jokes, we were talking, and he was very excited that I'm Russian. He was asking a lot of really good questions about my country and my culture, which is sometimes kind of rare to get a really good question about my culture. So I'm really excited when it happens. And he was absolutely hilarious. All of a sudden he's like, Victoria, if we got married, I'm Scottish and you're Russian, and our kids would be Scrussians. When I heard this word, Scrussians, I started laughing and kind of falling under the table. Of course, Scrussians. Like, what kind of nationality is that, Scrussians? I was laughing this morning, remembering this situation. It was 10 years ago, but I guess I still remember a person doing something really romantic for me. And we were laughing and talking after this Scrussians joke. I'm like, this guy is awesome. I guess I kind of started falling in love or something like that. So after that, I'm like, oh, I kind of want a cup of coffee. And I started asking at the bar, do you guys have coffee? Like, no, or maybe I didn't ask. No, I think I asked this guy. I asked him like, do you know if they have coffee? And he's like, oh, sure, coffee, no problem. I'm going to bring you some coffee. And back then I was a really fresh immigrant. I didn't know that most of bars don't serve coffee. Beginning of the story. No coffee at the bar, and I get it. Listen how. Um, we were talking. He's like, "Okay, sure, no problems, Victoria. If you want a cup of coffee, I will get you a cup of coffee." I'm like, "Okay." I'm just very trustful, fresh immigrant girl in downtown Seattle, excited. Everything is so interesting. Everything is so new. I felt so open, and I didn't feel like there was any danger or anything strange anywhere. I trusted everybody and everything. Um, all of a sudden, he is telling me like, "Oh, here's your cup of coffee," and he's bringing me a cup of coffee in a mug, which is kind of unusual. Usually, it's a cup or something different, but the cup looks really cozy, like it's somebody's or whatever. But I wasn't analyzing much back then. I wasn't a very analytical person. I was just like, "You want to get me a cup of coffee? This is so great. I am so grateful. Thank you." I'm drinking a cup of coffee. We're talking, and conversation is very interesting. Obviously, we're kind of flirting, and he is a young guy, I'm a young girl. We're just, trying to get to know each other. It's so exciting. We're from different cultures and everything like that. I'm like, I kind of want another cup of coffee. He's like, sure, no problems. So he disappears. He comes back again, but I wasn't really watching where he went, where he got the coffee. As I told you, I'm a very trustful, romantic person. Like, if it happens, it's a miracle from the sky. It just was done for me. So, miracle. So he brings me another cup of coffee, and we're talking, and it's still really interesting and exciting. Conversation is great. I'm like, he's the most interesting person in my life. I really like this guy. Um, and after I see that there is a person walking towards me from the bar, and the guy disappears. So he's just, I didn't even know how he disappeared, but he's nowhere to be found. I don't see him. Like, I'm looking at the left, at the right, and barman is like, this guy, he's actually a downtown thief. He steals purses, he comes to places and things like that. And I'm like, really? And I was kind of shocked. And he's like, you know where he got this coffee? I'm like, no. Do you guys serve coffee? I was thinking he just bought it for me, or he brought it from somewhere, from some other corner in the bar. I have no idea. And the barman is telling me, he stole this coffee from the break room, from our staff break room. It's like where people usually eat food and have coffee at the workplace. So he basically got it from there. I don't know how he got in that room, how he made it happen. Maybe he knew the place. Maybe it's not his first time doing that. I have no idea. And I'm like, oh, and I was so scared. I'm like, finishing the coffee. I'm like, thank you for the coffee. And I'm running away because I'm like, I didn't know what to say. I'm like, should I pay for it? Or I'm involved in the crime? Or I have no I have no idea what to do. So I just got scared and surrendered and left the bar very quickly. But this is the most romantic thing that happened to me in my life, to be honest with you. The person just stole like 2 cups of coffee for me. And I still remember that. It's been like 10 years. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's alive. I don't know how his life is, but he was a very interesting person, I want to tell the truth. And I still remember him. So, that's basically what happened to me. If you guys ask me a question why I'm not married, because I don't find anybody romantic enough for myself. Because this is the kind of things that make me happy, and it's kind of bad, but it's not hard to make me happy. But I get happy because of really strange things. So I guess I'm really into Robin Hood kind of man who can do something crazy for you or crazy for people. And maybe I'm just not very civilized. I have no idea. Maybe I'm a Robin Hood in my soul. At least some people feel this way. And that's my story about Scrussians. It's my criminal story about Scrussians and 2 cups of coffee and the Robin Hood from downtown Seattle. This is what I was thinking about today. So, and I think it's been about 10 years since it happened, so I decided to celebrate it with just telling this story. I'm sorry, I was laughing the whole morning remembering this. All of a sudden, just entered my mind. I'm like, I want to make a video about it, just so that you understand how strange I am. So, my channel is about cultural differences. As I told you, I'm talking about friendship, about how we can understand each other and still stay who we are in immigration. And I want to be myself. And, as in Russian, the motto, I said it sounds Mir, Druzhba, Zhivachka. And as I said, it's peace, friendship, bubblegum. So let's just be friends and make peace, be friends, and chew bubblegum. That's my life. Russian American Renaissance, Victoria James, and this is my story about a cup of coffee, 2 cups of coffee, Scrussians, and Robin Hood from downtown Seattle. Bye bye.